Yeah. I'm Torben Bergland. I'm Norwegian. Came to the US half a year ago to work in the General Conference Health Ministries team, especially focusing on mental health issues, how we as a church can support people better with mental health issues. So that's I'm a psychiatrist by my background. I started my residency in psychiatry working in a trauma department where we had various kinds of patients, but also especially people, men and women, who had experienced sexual abuse before the age of 18. I was a therapist for those patients, patients with anxiety and depression. But still, it touched my heart very much to experience the effects, the impact those early life experiences have. What I will share with you now is sort of more general principles. We talk about anxiety and depression. We'll give the main focus as these are key components in trauma disorders. I just want to give you an overview here of what we mean when we talk about disorders of anxiety. These are states, conditions, continuous experiences where you are in a state of alarm mentally, and that's why it's so detrimental also because your body is constantly stressed. That's why both anxiety and depression has physical consequences in addition to the mental consequences that we're aware of. The beginning with anxiety, we're focusing on the excessive sense of threat or danger. Like anxiety is something we all have. If you walk down the street, dark street at night, you will be in a state of anxiety, and that's adaptive, that's appropriate. If you are not in the wilderness in Norway, then it's not that dangerous. But if you are in the downtown, in the city somewhere, it's appropriate to be in a state of anxiety. So anxiety is not something we just want to get rid of. Anxiety is something we need to stay alive. But when it becomes excessive, that's a problem. Depression is when we have excessive negative feelings. And there will be a loss of interest in activities or other things that we used to enjoy. So this is something that also that it's definitely something we don't want. It's become excessive, life becomes dominated by the negative feelings and emotions. Yes. Does anyone know that this happens? All these sorts of trauma is typically you have a combination of both anxiety and depression and other mental disorders. So it's typically releases stressful events that are inescapable and they overwhelm the person's coping. Of course, when this happens chronically, then that's difficult. And the thing is, traumatized people, they are in this sense, constant and continuous sense, where they feel that they are in these life and death situations, even when they are actually safe, still the experience of the past come back to haunt them. And that in itself is difficult, but also the coping strategies that have been developed often can become inappropriate, not really helpful for that situation. They may have been appropriate for what happened in the past, And that's important to recognize that it's not just all dysfunction. These strategies that we develop, we figure out things that actually maybe worked in the past, was the best way to survive in the past. But then now when I'm in life now, it's a different situation. I may still be applying what I learned back then in order to manage life. But that may not be the appropriate and the best way to live now. So just to give you some symptoms for anxiety, we call motor tension, or we could call it body tension, typical tension in the body all the time, restlessness, tiredness, shakiness, hypervigilance, always on the edge, and like always in a constant state of alarm, ready to act and to defend yourself against whatever danger is. Of course, this often causes difficult sleeping and conflict. And then the autonomic nervous system, hyperarousal, all these bodily symptoms that you can have, heart palpitations, heart beating, shortness of breath, nausea, dizziness, sweating, all kinds of physical symptoms. So these conditions, and when we're talking about mental condition, that's not just something that goes on in the mind, it's something that goes on in the body. And that's very important to recognize. Treatment for anxiety, it's the most common mental disorder. About 30% of the population will, in the lifespan, qualify for anxiety diagnosis. That 1 in 3 will have anxiety to such a level that they ought to have treatment. And it won't have treatment when it won't seek treatment, but that is how common it is. And that's sort of when we talk about diagnosis, it's a quite severe condition. It's something that really impacts negatively your life, your function in life. And of course, there are many who are sub-threshold also. But it's one of the most treatable disorders. When people get appropriate treatment, they will usually improve. We can expect always complete cure and remission. That's the way it is. We accept that when it comes to our physical bodies, that there are chronic conditions. We have to live with it in the best possible way. And the same applies to mental conditions also. And some of these things are chronic. You may not be able to escape it. It may be that your genetics and your life history has just put you in a position where your brain has become wired so that these are things you will have to live with to some extent or another. But still, with treatment, almost everyone will improve and can have still a decent quality of life. Treatment typically is, like we say, counseling, psychotherapy, and medication. I strongly urge, whenever there is a mental disorder, not to go for medication alone. Medication is appropriate in many mental conditions. Some conditions is absolutely necessary based on what we today know about them. But unfortunately, I think there is a tendency today that some disorders are over-treated or are only treated with medication. And that especially applies to anxiety and depression disorders. It's easy to just prescribe a pill and then think that's sufficient. It's usually not. Medication is very important because, as I see it, it can be an emotional painkiller to some extent. And if I break my leg, if I go through a surgery or something, in order to recover as fast as possible, I may need pain medication to get through it. And the same applies also to mental disorders. It's the way I prescribe medication often to make it manageable, to make the level of emotions, the intensity of emotions, more tolerable, so you can work with it and get through it. So I strongly recommend that you, whenever if you are recommended medication, or you know someone who's recommended medication, don't discourage that. It doesn't do any harm, and you can always quit. But on its own, it's not sufficient, usually. Psychotherapy to deal with the more underlying causes and the sort of dysfunctional coping strategies we may have developed. That's important. And whenever symptoms persist, when they negatively affect your quality of life, your functioning, that's when you should seek treatment. And in general, the sooner you seek treatment, the better. Depression also has a variety of symptoms: emotional, feeling intensely sad, dejected, empty. Some people with depression say that's the big problem, not just all the sadness, but that the emptiness of emotion. And if you just consider the word depression, indicate that you push things down, you disconnect sometimes from emotion, so that can be as bad as just a negative emotion. Lack of drive, initiative, it also affects your thinking, slowness. It can be slowness in the body, in your thinking, in your speech, or you can become hyperactive, restless. It affects your cognitions, negative view of yourself, others, your life, and the future. Hopelessness is a common symptom of depression, and also physical manifestations. Depression is also very common. It's according to the World Health Organization, the leading cause of disability worldwide of all conditions, not just mental conditions, but all conditions. It's what hinders people in functioning optimally. It's the leading cause of that worldwide. It's not just a Western world problem. Again, very treatable. Mild forms, typically they can sometimes remit, they're time limited, but when it becomes more severe, treatment is usually necessary. But again, high percentage of people will improve with treatment. And again, psychotherapy, medication is appropriate treatments for it. The same applies there as with anxiety. There are many things that we can do to help ourselves, and I think that's important to improve our resilience, our ability to withstand the challenges we meet in life. Resilience, whether you are struggling or you are fine, building resilience is something that always will help you. And I think the starting point to know yourself, as Jennifer said, to tell your story to someone, to have them write them down, or write your own story down. And if you're brave enough, share it with someone, talk with someone about it. But just the process of writing it down can have an amazingly therapeutic process. But if you have experienced severe trauma in your life, then be cautious also, because when you start writing, as you start developing it, you may experience a lot of the emotionality may become strong. Then maybe put it aside for a while and go back to it when you're ready to do that. But also to face your thoughts and feelings, to own them, don't run away from them. That's very important. Deal them. They are there for a reason. They're telling you something. But what they're telling you might not be that helpful, but you need to know them still, the thoughts and feelings. Set boundaries, be temperate, and then be kind towards yourself. Often told my patients, be as kind towards yourself as you would be to others. Often we fail to do that. We are very harsh towards ourselves. Then to take control in your own life, be an agent in your own life. Director, do what you think you should do, not do, right? And then these other healthy living, exercise, eating, sleeping, resting, very important. And then the social aspect, to connect with others. That's so often people with anxiety and depression and other mental, they can disconnect from others because it's just so difficult. They have more than enough just dealing with themselves. They're not cannot handle others as well. So that's essential in recovery. And then in general, practice compassion, kindness, and gratitude, proven important in recovery. And then last but not least, to live for something and someone, something beyond yourself. to look outside, not just inside. It's very important. Already mentioned some psychotherapies that are talk about cognitive behavioral therapy, well recognized, evidence-based, helpful, but there are also other traditions that are also well established. Interpersonal psychotherapy very much focused on how the person is in the context with others, typically focused on like losses, challenges, roles, conflicts in relationships, and also to develop social skills. That's one form. Psychodynamic therapy also often very much focused more on the emotional experience and content that the person has, developing insight and tolerance for that, and dealing with positive and negative feelings. And typically focused on putting this into context, the life history, and how things from the past play out in current relationships. So it's very much focused on insight. So all of these treatments, and there are hundreds, probably thousands of treatment models out there, but many of them are sort of combinations of these types of treatment. And what I think what research shows very much that it's not often always the type of treatment that is most important, but it's the type of relationship, the quality of relationship that you're able to develop between the patient and the therapist. And oftentimes it's not also, it's more the skill of the therapist more than the specific type of treatment that they're offering that has the greatest impact. So, but I recommend treatment, and I strongly discourage to see treatment whether or not the therapist is a Christian or not. I know many Christians are reluctant to seek treatment from non-Christian therapists because they're afraid that they will be, their beliefs, their values may be sort of challenged, attacked. The thing is, with a therapist, you can always quit if it doesn't work. And the reality is sometimes it doesn't work. That it's like with any kind of relationship. It's a therapeutic relationship needs to work. It has to be something you believe in, you're comfortable in, even though there will usually be challenges along the way. But seek treatment. If it's not working, then you can quit, find another therapist. And sometimes that's necessary. Some people have to go through some various attempts, and maybe one approach to treatment may be what's needed at one time in life, maybe another approach in another time. So that's just some reflections on therapy. I like this statement by Carl Hendricks. It says, we are born in relationships, we are wounded in relationship, we can heal in relationship. And that's very much the essence of a lot of psychotherapy. Also that in this context of a trusting relationship, that you can process the wounds that have experienced. That was just a quick run through.
Very good, super helpful.